let's have a chat about the Stevia Rebaudiana plant. Welcome back to Chatting with Chintzy. I'm Chintzy Barato. Today, as I said, we're going to cover the Stevia Rebaudiana plant. Now, here in America, we call it stevia. It's actually pronounced stevia. Let's get started. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Southern culture. Down south, we consider iced tea to be a food group in and of itself. I consume about a gallon of it a day, and I was adding 2 cups of sugar per gallon. That's an enormous amount of sugar. The average American consumes about 150 pounds of sugar a year. That is a staggering amount. Woo! That may or may not have been AI. Type 2 diabetes is ravaging the nation, with 1 in 8 Americans having type 2 diabetes. Now, that number is rising each year. Now, I'm not diabetic, but I can imagine if I was, my food would taste really bland because you can't sweeten anything. So, but what you can use is a 0-calorie stevia. Let's talk real quick about stevia blends that you may find at the grocery. If you look back and read the ingredients, which I'm going to put right here, you'll notice that there's very little stevia in it. There's a lot of added sugars or natural flavors. They're called stevia blends. And some of them will even advertise 1 cup of stevia of the stevia blend equals 1 cup of sugar. That should tell you it's not stevia. It may have some stevia in it, but that is not stevia. The only way you're going to get real stevia for your food is to grow it yourself. And that's what we're doing here. And I'm going to show you how to take care of your plant and what kind of soil and nutrients and all that good stuff that it likes so that you can reap the benefits of stevia too. Now, I think we're recording. We sure are. Does my hair look good? One thing that these stevia blends can contain, man, it was like 80 degrees earlier this morning and now it's like cold as a well digger's rear end. Anyway, a lot of these stevia blends have in it what's called erythritol. Erythritol in recent studies has been shown to cause heart conditions and or stroke risks. And nobody needs any of that. So also, it can impair your brain function, which we definitely don't need any more of that. And it can give you diarrhea and bloating. Some people report stomach upset with stevia. That's largely caused from this erythritol stuff I'm talking about. Now, you will find this in a lot of stevia blends that you buy at the grocery. Where you won't find it is in the all-natural stevia plant. Here is the stevia plant. It's the leaves that contain the sweetness. The stems, the flowers, and anything but the leaves does not really contain the sweetness. And as I cover later on, if your plant starts to flower, it will make your leaves bitter tasting, not something you're going to want to eat. The stevia plant itself is 200 to 400 times sweeter than sugar. So you don't need a lot of stevia to equate the sweetness of sugar in your food and drinks. I want to give you a quick hack for the day. Some people will say that stevia has kind of a nutri-sweetie kind of taste, an artificial sweetener kind of taste, which I agree that it can. So what I do now, and I mentioned earlier, I drink a lot of iced tea. So what I do now, instead of putting 2 cups of sugar in, what I do is I put ½ a cup of sugar, and then I substitute the rest with stevia in order to bring the sweetness level up so that it's iced tea. Because like I said, down south, we like a little bit of tea with our sugar. Oh, and by the way, all food that you have to add sugar to, you can substitute that into stevia. Watery based drinks like maybe lemonade or iced tea, it's gonna have that kind of nutri-sweetie taste. So I just told you how to get around that. Use a little bit of sugar to get the sugar flavor, and then use stevia to bring up the sweetness level. But in foods, you can't taste it anyway. And you can have sugar-free whatever, sugar-free chocolate. So you can do this. I believe in you. If I can do it, you can do it. Stevia enjoys very well drained soil, and they really like it wet. This plant grows in zones 8A to 11. So that's tropical and subtropical. Now, I don't live in a tropical area. I live in zone 8A/8B. And this, if I leave it out over the winter, it will die. So that's why I'm choosing to grow these in pots. I'm a big fan of growing local plants that grow in your zone. It makes it a lot less labor intensive, but this plant will not. So I have to bring this in at night, I would say if it's below about 60 degrees. Put it in a window, water it consistently, make sure the soil stays moist, and you can have all the sugar substitute that you can handle with this plant. Again, we're just gonna do one of them right here. I do have 4, so I'm gonna be doing the same thing with all of them. I planted this about a week ago, and had a little bit of the plague going on, so I waited to shoot this video. But once this plant reaches, say 6 to 8 inches, you're gonna wanna cut it back about 2 to 3 inches. So it's a little taller than that. We've got a couple more that are a little taller. So I'm gonna show you how to prune these things so you don't have, 2 or 3 strands growing straight up. It'll turn into a thick bush. Now here's a good example of what I'm talking about. This plant, although newly planted, and within a week it has basically doubled in size. This one is starting to flower. Your stevia is gonna start tasting bitter if you let this plant flower. So we're gonna mess with it, and we're going to cut all these flowers off. You can also pinch them off. If you don't want to prune your plant, just pinch the flowers off. It'll send the nutrients to the plant into the leaves instead of the flower. So same thing here. We're going to prune this by cutting the flowers off as well. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Now, the stevia plant tends to be a little bit sensitive. It's darn near impossible to grow from seed. I have tried at least 3 or 4 occasions and not been successful a single time. And I've got a pretty green thumb, but even I was a failure at that. Now, I have failed for a second time in life. And what you can see here is one of my stevia plants. I let the soil get too dry, and I left this little joker out in the sun. And this is what happened. It's not completely dead, but it ain't doing too well. So I'm gonna have to take some cuttings from my other plants and propagate some more stevia. So be careful that you keep the soil nice and moist, not sopping wet. It doesn't need to be a swamp, but it needs to stay nice and moist, and make sure it's well draining. And what I've done is put some rocks on the bottom of the pot so that it stays nice and dry. Make sure it stays wet so you don't do this. So we're gonna come over here and we're gonna find, make sure you got about 4 nodes on here. Don't cut below that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you'll notice on the top of this, it appears to be starting to want to flower. We don't want it to do that. So we're gonna cut it. You don't want to cut too much off the plant, so we're gonna cut about a third, 40%. And that's all you got to do. And this you can dry and turn into stevia that you can eat. And that's all there is to it. Now, in a month, you're going to want to fertilize this plant. And as I said, it likes it wet. So make sure you're regularly watering this. It likes full sun. So on a nice sunny day, it's about 70 degrees here. So my plants are hanging around outside, chilling like a villain in the sun all day. I woke up feeling the cheesiest, Coach. So I was excited to get these things going. Now, this is all I need to do besides water and sunlight these things. So what we've done here today is I've shown you the Stevia Rebaudiana plant in a way that you can still enjoy your food if you're diabetic, and just enjoy your food if you're already in perfect health without risking your health, because sugar is basically poison. Which sugar, by the way, has also been shown to feed cancer cells. So if you're already cancerous and you're eating sugar, not a good combination, okay? So if you follow these basic steps that we've shown in this video, you can avert a lot of that. And you know, the remedies are out there. All you got to do is know what they are and know how to use them. And most of them are growing right around you, or with a little bit of effort, can be growing around you. On that note, I'm going to take my stevia plant and I'm going to go enjoy some iced tea. By the way, later on, come summertime, when I get a full harvest, I'm going to make another video to show you how to take these stevia leaves and to process it into a usable form that you can enjoy yourself. So, until next time, I'll see you on Chatting with Chintzy. I'm Chintzy Barato. Out.